Hey guys, I'm gonna do something I haven't done in a really long time. I don't think I've really done it at all. But this is I think the first time. I think I've done it a few times before. Well, I've done a face cam video. If I haven't, this is your first time seeing my face. Either way, I do stream on Twitch. Put that link in the description. Or whatever. For sometimes I stream on Twitch. And I sometimes use my face cam there too. I've started not to as much, but still. Yeah. I started using a micrometer. This is my point. This video, disclaimer, I am not a professional. I am a team just taking an opinion on this video that I'm going to be reacting to. Other than that, I am going to, I'm going to just be reacting and kind of, and tell my opinion on this video. A while ago, I found this channel called Psych to Go. I've watched them for a few weeks, maybe 2 months or two. Started to really like the channel, and yeah, and also, just saying, for anyone who's a Psych to Go hater out there, just saying, in my opinion, what a lot of therapists catch most people won't catch. Their brain won't make a connection for it. Um, which is why I think they're good channel. Because I watched this other video about why Psycho is bad, and they pointed out a lot of things I didn't even catch. I didn't catch at all. So it's not likely other people will either, unless you're a trained professional to actually catch these things. So moving on to the video, real quick. We are going to be watching my experience. Oh, you can't really see my cursor, but you can see it up at the top corner. My experience with depression and how I overcame it. This video was about a year ago. About a year ago, this was uploaded. From when this is getting released, maybe two. I didn't really look at the date, but it was around a year ago. I said a year ago. Yeah, and we're gonna be reacting to this, and I'm gonna kind of give my opinion. So if y'all want to, if you want to talk, if there's any professionals in the chat, let me know how my feedback is at the end of the video. Please stay and watch, if you can. If it's even gonna play.
Hey, Psych2Goers.
There you go.
Depression. When does it creep into your life? You never know. I first experienced depression in middle school. As a preteen, I naturally wasn't able to tell how my mind was working differently. Probably the most common features in a scenario like that is depression and sadness being somewhat interchangeable terms for you, because you haven't learned the difference yet at that age. In fact, it probably wasn't until my 27th birthday when I realized how truly separate the two were. When I spent a week unable to leave the house despite being in a pretty great mood. And really, for 2/3 of my life at that point, I'd only experienced depression in terms of extreme sadness or lethargy in response to an event, usually interpersonal. Most of what I've learned about it has come from the past 5 years. As a preteen, I experienced a great deal of depression, or sadness as I would call it then, mainly due to academic, social, and presumably hormonal difficulties. Being a perfect example of your inherent shy kid of the family left me nihilistic. I was often finding ways to try to draw attention to myself. Passively, of course, because of shyness. From drawings and writings to song lyrics, I began to express what I was going through in a number of different ways. For the sake of expression, and as a way to prove myself as more capable than the person I negatively perceived myself to be. Somewhere between middle school and early high school, I degraded emotionally to a great extent. I began making threats of self-harm and was even pulled out of public school. When this happened, I also went from 110 pounds to a staggering 160 over the course of about 3 months due to the medication I was on. Throughout most of 2002, I smiled in exactly 0 photos, including a professionally done family portrait. I now recognize this was stated and deliberate, a sort of generalized clapback against the outside world because of how I felt. I would sometimes be needlessly bitter, stubborn, even explosive, and I often spent all evening in my room playing video games or watching TV.
You know, this is very interesting. I'm gonna pause before I say this. This is very interesting because this is almost exactly how my life went so far, at least. Um, as a kid, as like a toddler, or whatever, I was very aggressive. I would literally punch people because I thought it was fun. Like I was not the person to be around as a kid, and then I slowly was more and more responsible. I was even put in Delta in third grade because I knocked out a guy one time. But yeah, it was a long time ago. All this stuff, all this stuff. Um, yeah, it was definitely a long childhood for me. I'm almost up there. I'm almost up there, so don't worry. Um, yeah, and eventually, in my funny enough, first year of high school, I thought homeschool would be a good idea for me because I'm just different. You know, I've been different half my life, or half my so far life at least, and yeah, I just that was a good idea, and so far it's been working out great. I'm thinking about going back to see some of my friends again because I'm starting to be back into the normal, I should say, real life. I've learned to do a lot of things, like for example, not punch people when they disagree with me. You even see that now in my comments. I won't get snarky left and right. I've gotten better since I was a kid. Um, and yeah, this just resembles so much of me. That's another reason why I wanted to react to it today with y'all.
Although I never
So, yeah.
stopped drawing,
So, yeah.
I did stop experimenting with craft, collage, and writing, etc.
Hmm.
The lowest moment was likely after committing a particularly upsetting form of self-harm, which I covered up with a bowling glove. This only attracted attention to it, and in no time the secret was wide in the open, causing me to double down on attention-seeking behavior. There were brushes with depression throughout the decade.
Imagine if you could
Come
make
on,
2K,
stupid ad.
5K, or even
Skip.
$10,000 a month from
Sorry about
any-
this, guys. Sorry about this,
More
guys.
chronic
Ads
form
are
of depression
my
arrived
ads
in
weren't
my
even
late 20s,
have
as I
been
finally got my
horrendous for me.
bachelor's degree
You know,
and
it's
faced a
happened.
difficult job market living in Atlanta. A decision was made to apply.
I know I'm not gonna buy premium. I don't
While
need Spotify
undergrad was
premium, but I
easily one
certainly
of the
don't need
happiest
YouTube.
periods of my life,
It's fine, it is.
grad school was much more complicated and came with persistent bouts of depression and anxiety. I was substantially less social and prone to spending hours laying on the couch, either playing with my phone or doing nothing at all. I would stare at the ceiling or bury my head between the pillow and cushions. Most of grad school was backlit by anxiety and depression, bouncing off of each other. However, I became much more proactive in my mental health as a result, and eventually settled on a prescription regimen that I still follow today. I then started regular therapy for the first time as an adult, which I've mostly kept up with since then. Following grad school, I moved yet again and spent all of 2019 squeezing as much employability as possible out of my extremely narrow window of interest in commercial work. An intensive outpatient program via Zoom kept me afloat on 3 therapy sessions a week. And looking back over the past year, I can see my mood as something zigzagging like the chart of a tumultuous, but slow upward trending
Aw,
company.
the reference, man.
Over time,
The reference to the
bottom becomes
meme.
a little higher than before,
Let's go.
and the good days become
Yeah,
more like actual.
real quick, one more pause, and I'm not gonna pause anymore. But I like Shy too because they make so many perfection references. They make the greatest references of all time.
Simply normal.
They're
Much
just
of
good
this
at that, you
time
know.
was spent
They're great
in a
at that.
suffocating, crowded, and dark
They're great
apartment,
at that.
and taught me an important lesson about considering the mental health impact when looking for apartments on a budget. Over the decades, I've had a number of methods of dealing with depression that weren't particularly healthy. The ones that were healthy, however, often involved distraction or turning to friends. Distraction could mean driving around and listening to music, a rural pastime, for sure, or it could mean something more hobby-oriented. The video game collection I mentioned earlier continues on and off to this day, and opened up a little time capsule to turn on in moments of stress and escapism. However, if not handled correctly, this hobby becomes detrimental very quickly. Escapism can limit one's ability to make a real change in their life and improve their situation. Art was far and away the healthiest channel for me to process and express things going on in my life, and it has always run the gamut. I've experimented in essentially every type of drawing I could get my hands on, and most types of paintings and photography. As a preteen, I would work with clay as well as modifying existing toys to make new things out of them. Picture Sid from Toy Story, but less nefarious, even though I had the same t-shirt. More than anything, though, simple drawing and writing have been my go-to formats. In pursuing animation, I made films about subjects like depression, anxiety, grief, and emotional dependency. I was able to unload the things that weighed on me and make a recognizable, semi-permanent change in my mental state. As I entered my 30s, I started regular therapy and learned a host of other skills and coping mechanisms, many of which I still use today. I try to walk outside as much as I can, as walks outside can carry a lot of benefits. Others include journaling, mindfulness, meditation, and self-parenting. All of these have helped me get through several periods of stagnation to the current day, where I've had a number of breakthroughs as to the causes of my psychological struggles and have been able to work on them directly and make plans for treatment that's not only more effective but potentially more permanent. Depression arrives in many forms and can disguise itself as sadness, lethargy, apathy, and others. I've learned that recognizing depression can be deceptively difficult because when it's at its worst, it has your mind under its control, and it gets harder to differentiate the real world from the dystopia that depression
I'm gonna talk about more about that later.
Time helps, as does mindfulness, exercise, and spending time with loved ones, if at all possible. And no matter how long you've dealt with it, you can always let your guard down without noticing. It's important to try the things that work, but the most important part is maintaining some semblance of effort, trying to wrestle control from depression's grip so you can steer yourself in the right direction. It may mean complete control, or just pulling the wheel in the right direction every time you get your hands on it. Either way, the most important and often seemingly hardest part is simply trying. That often means physically getting up to do something that will make you feel better, not the thing that will give you a burst of dopamine, like frivolous spending or junk food. It's also very important to keep in mind that this is a process, not a simple cause and effect solution. The most important word in this video's title is overcome, as opposed to the past tense, overcame. It can go away, sure, but it will almost certainly take time, and it can come back. Dealing with depression is not a singular act. It's a pattern of good habits, the knowledge of what activities will provide you with the greatest improvements in mood, and what activities will be a temporary distraction. Your most important decisions when dealing with depression, outside of the medical choices you make, will be the lifestyle you live and the way you treat yourself and others. Has your experience with depression been like this, or different? If you have a perspective you think could help others know when to see a doctor or therapist, please let us know in the comments below.
Well, that was nice. I would definitely. Yes, okay. I would definitely agree with almost every point they made there. It's definitely a multi-step process. It's definitely a multi-step process. I would definitely agree on most of the points they made there, if not all of them. I definitely think that's worthwhile to check into. Now, I noticed you said something along the lines of only time will tell, basically. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree, only time will tell. And that's another reason why I wanted to make this video. So, to tell all you guys and tell everything you guys, if you are ever experiencing anything like, for example, depression, or for example, you feel suicidal or any of this stuff, I would definitely either check out Psych2Go, because they've made multiple videos on that, or just try and, just try to think of good thoughts and don't do anything crazy. I don't know how to put this, because the best way I can say is wait. Just wait and see what time says. I I'm against an impact. I'm against an impact player. Not gonna lie, and I definitely agree on their thought of fate. Only fate will tell what happens. I believe that everything has a purpose on whatever happens. So if your purpose is to go through this, then go through it. Overcome it. Or yeah, just try to overcome it. Use their terminology. Overcome, do not overcame. If you overcame, that such that is telling your mind that you have already passed it and to stop learning on that. If you say overcome to yourself and not overcame, then that's kind of a version of telling your mind, I have a lot to learn. And trust me, all of us do. None of us know everything. None of us, not even Tesla knew everything, and I look up to him. I look up to him as a person. I want to be someone like him. And he doesn't even know everything. He just knows a lot, but he doesn't know everything. No one knows everything. No one at all. I'm gonna get a little bit religion here for a second, but I'm an atheist or whatever. But please don't hate me in the comments. basically, my grandma supports Jesus and all this stuff, and I support that. I truly do. She can think whatever she wants. I let people think what they want, and I expect them to do the same with me. But my point is, Jesus can do everything, but that doesn't mean he knows everything. My point with this is humanity could change for the better and he wouldn't know how to react. No one knows everything. No one at all. The universe doesn't even know everything. Put it that way. Not even the universe knows everything. Not even the whole entire, whatever you want to call it, the everywhere, doesn't even know everything. We are just a speck inside of its not knowingness. We probably know not even 0.001% of everything. We don't even know much at all. We don't even know what's in space. We don't know what's in the ocean. We don't even know what could happen. We're just learning ourselves, and I think it's best that you guys learn too. I think it's best that we all learn at the same pace and try to keep up with each other, and share each other's thoughts and help each other out. Which is why I'm making this video. Which is the main purpose, to help you guys, and to receive hopefully helpful comments in the comment section, and to also hopefully and to just hopefully help you guys out. On that note, only time will tell, and when this video gets uploaded, only time will tell who will watch it. So make sure you hit that like button, all that stuff. And yeah, only time will tell if you like this. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much. You guys supported me so much in my most recent memes and all this stuff. Yeah, you guys have supported me so much. Just keep it up. Thanks, guys. I love you all. Peace out.
No, honey, I'm good. I can have another, but I promise.